Alright, we're going to do an outdoor review today. It's going to be of a commercial MRE from XMRE. It's menu number 5, beef brisket. And this one is actually a 2016 MRE. It has a date code on it of 5363. So it was the very, very end of 2015 that this was packaged, but the case was from early 2016. I've done a number of outdoor reviews in the past. What's going to be different about this one is we're going to do it in more real field conditions. Instead of having a tray or mess kit or any other kind of equipment, I basically just have the MRE and some water. I would have preferred to do this with a genuine issue MRE, but this was all I had on hand. So let's go ahead and see what's in this menu number 5 from XMRE. These are Brisket Entree. And interestingly enough, this is actually packaged on the 52nd day of 2014. So this is almost 2 years older than the rest of the MRE. Or than when the MRE is packaged, I should say. And so no box with this, but it does have a generic XMRE heater sleeve. And it has a information sheet, which gives you the ingredients and the nutrition facts. I believe XMRE now has new flameless ration heaters. This is one of the standard ones, and I'm looking forward to trying out one of the newer ones in one of the newer XMRE MREs. So the flameless ration heater, we have a hot beverage bag, which is definitely going to come in handy in this situation. We have a tropical punch beverage-based powder. Snack, we have the XMRE branded roasted salted corn nuggets, or corn nuts. I've noticed with these that both the XMRE packaged ones and even the genuine ones, they don't seem to last very long, so it's going to be interesting to try this out. This is only about 2.5 years old, but I have a feeling this is not going to be good. For whatever reason, the corn nuts don't seem to last in the retort pouches. I also have wheat snack bread, standard wheat snack bread, and chunky peanut butter. And for dessert we have an oatmeal cookie. Accessory pack. This includes a spoon, napkin, deep rich instant coffee, 2 sugars, Coffee Mate creamer, and a moist towelette. Alright, the first thing we'll do is heat up the entree. Before I do that, I want to mention, so it's great that we have the hot beverage bag in here, and since the beverage base comes in this tiny packaging, I'm obviously not going to be able to mix it up in here, so I'm going to have to use the hot beverage bag for that. And because of that, and because of the fact that it's a very hot day today, I am going to be skipping the coffee today. Kind of nice, XMRE gives these heater sleeves that actually are kind of thermally insulated. So we'll stuff it into there, and then we'll just lay the whole thing on a convenient rock or something. And give that about 10 minutes to heat up. And while we wait for that to heat up, we'll get everything else laid out. Here's the oatmeal cookie. Smells good. It's got that sweet molasses kind of a smell to it. Check out these roasted salted corn nuggets. When XMRE first started putting their snacks and desserts into their own branded pouches, I noticed that they didn't have tear notches at the tops of the bags, which was a bit of a problem if you didn't have a knife on you. And this one actually does. So they obviously made a little bit of an improvement there. This is going to be the first real test of this MRE. Of all the things to go bad, you wouldn't really think it would be corn nuts, but actually those don't seem to smell too bad. Hopefully they'll pass the taste test. And the wheat snack bread. Got like flour on it. It's always nice to get a relatively fresh wheat snack bread. And the chunky peanut butter. Of course, I'm going to give this a good knead. You can see the chunkiness in there, the chunks of peanuts. Then we'll mix up our beverage before we check out the entree. I know there's different schools of thought on whether you should add water or powder first, but the beverage bag does say open beverage bag, fill with water to appropriate fill line, add beverage powder. So we'll just go by the instructions on this one. It does say to add 12 ounces. Now this is one of those instances when one of the Canadian hot beverage bags would come in handy with its gusseted bottom, as I probably should have opened the beverage base powder first before doing that. That nice kids drink Day Glow powder. And give that a good shake. Seems to be all mixed. It just leaves us with our brisket entree, and this ration heater seems to be doing a great job. It's still very hot. It's basically too hot to handle. That's a great job by the flameless ration heater. Very, very hot. Yeah, the brisket entree is kind of on the messy side for eating right out of a pouch, but it is what it is. A lot of gravy in there, a lot of beef. That's basically it. Alright, let me just get this all set up and we'll try everything out. Alright, there we have it. This is everything but the coffee, creamer, and sugar. Start off trying out this brisket, and I realized this has the tear notches going across the long side, and I just went ahead and tore it. What I should have done was use a knife and cut it on the short side, because then I could have used the heater sleeve, which does have this convenient, I never use it, but it has this convenient folding bottom, so you can eat it right out of the sleeve. But I missed that boat. This looks pretty good though. Yeah, that's good. It's a different kind of beef. It feels almost decadent. It's very rich. It's kind of fatty. I'm not a big fan of really fatty meats, but obviously this is brisket. That's kind of the point of it. It kind of breaks apart in your mouth. It's very like soft, but it's not because of being overly processed. It's just the cut of meat and the fact that it's swimming in this gravy. I know they used to give you a biscuit with this, and that was a nice touch. I almost would think of, if I had a tray to put this on, I would almost consider putting it over the wheat snack bread. That's good. But of course we had to use the wheat snack bread for the peanut butter, which I guess we'll go ahead and try that out next. Actually, let's reserve a little piece of this to put in the gravy. And the wheat snack bread is fine, being about 2 years old. Actually, I guess it's about 3 years old. A little friend on there. extra protein. And that's just fine, but as always, having something as thick as the peanut butter and something as dense and dry as the wheat snack bread does make you very thirsty, so I'm going to have to go ahead and get the beverage. Let's get that. Like I said, it's like a kid's drink. Not only the color, but also that really sweet taste. If these are too sweet for you, I think the best thing to do is just add a little bit extra water. I kind of like my stuff sweet anyway, so I'm not too bothered by it. But I know it does turn off some people, the unnatural color and the overly sweet nature of it. I'll try these corn nuts. Whoa, had an ant in there. See if these survived a couple years of packaging. I think they're fine. I'm very suspicious of these now once they become like over a year old or so. But you can tell when they're bad. The oil turns. These are just fine. Let me try the wheat snack bread in the gravy. Yeah, that's good. But the wheat snack bread has that sort of chemical kind of flavor to it, if you're familiar with it. There's a lot of variation. Sometimes they do taste almost like bread, and sometimes they really have that chemical flavor. This was one of the ones that's more kind of a chemical sort of flavor. And doesn't actually mix all that great with the gravy, but it's still something good for sopping it up. And that leaves us with dessert, our oatmeal cookie. Always a nice simple treat. And that's no exception. Crunchy, sweet but not overly sweet. Same thing I always say. It doesn't list molasses on the ingredients, but it has that sort of understated sweetness that makes you think of molasses. And something that always goes good on these is a little bit of the peanut butter. That's very good. I'm gonna go ahead and use the fresh nap, moist towelette. Try and keep kind of clean out in the field. So let's look at a commercial MRE from XMRE, menu number 5, beef brisket from 2016. Thank you for watching. I'll try these corn nuts. Whoa.